Everybody, and welcome to Awaited Fate here in Riverside, California at Game Lab, which is hopping. It's Saturday night. We are straight chilling. We've been playing fighting games since, well, sometimes since 12 p.m., but 2 p.m. proper. I am Jadelyn, and I am joined by my friend, Tabby.
Hey, Jadelyn. I'm excited to be here. Excited to talk about some type Lumina.
Some type Lumina. We've had a lot of killers coming out here today, and I mean, God, for every bracket, it has been insane.
Yeah, like I just got through with the Persona bracket, and we had like Evo 2014, like top 8 competitors coming back out and just be like, yeah, we want to play the game. We want to show up. I'm like, okay, I guess. And we have that sort of same situation coming up for this type Lumina bracket.
We do,
like all the SoCal killers decided to come out for this.
So many fantastic players are here. Top 9 finishes at Evo.
Yep.
Several of them had. It was a heartbreaking run for some of them. It's Shatani. That's what I'm talking about. That's who, but they're here, and so while you're here with us, let's talk a little bit about the bracket that we have here today. So our top 8 is Headpat homies Raiden against Headpat homies Vivian.
Yeah, the unfortunate Headpat homies team kill right from the gate.
Right from the gate.
That's just how these local tournaments work sometimes.
Yeah, and then we've got Roger with a W versus Chester, Luusei versus Shatani, and Gozen versus Patdabaker.
Yeah, so a very nice spread between all the different portions of both winners and losers side. And this is also one of those that I think a lot of these players are really, especially because a lot of them are grinding together, are that close in skill range. So really, it's not going to be certain who's going to actually come out on top at any of these just from a glance.
No, definitely not. I mean, some, of course, notable. Yes, there's a lot of notable players, but notable in general, Shatani, who has been part of multiple circuits, again, top 9 finish at EVO in 2023, was part of the Melty Blood official United States tournament, and then, of course, Raiden, who's the West Coast killer with that red arc, who has been absolutely crushing it since the game came out, and is here, doing a great job sitting down right now. So we're going to get that team kill right away.
Yeah. And speaking of circuits, this is a PSA Circuit event.
Right. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So the PSA Circuit is basically a community-run tour by the Panic Shield Anonymous, the main sort of Discord hub for this game. And it's really putting a lot to not only elevate online but offline competition by getting all these people, allowing people to play through these qualifying events to then lead into a full-fledged invitational with I don't remember exactly what the prize is at the end of that one. I don't remember if they've announced it yet.
I am not sure if it has been announced, yes. And again, thank you for the support that, of having them out here, that this is part of the official circuit for that. We're very grateful to have that. But speaking of prizes, let's talk a little bit about the prize pool for Awaited Fate.
Yeah. So
I'm actually going to pull up that information to make sure I am not incorrect on it.
Yeah, so there was a very generous, sponsorship given to us through Chitin Books.
Yay, Chitin Books!
Always shout out to Chitin Books. They've been sponsoring every event on the West Coast and been doing a whole lot, and especially for Type Lumina with a $250 pot bonus added on top of this. This is already like a 24-person bracket. So basically doubled the prize money.
And just in general, the pot bonuses for Awaited Fate, BB Tag and BBCF, Blue, and Uni, all with $500 bonuses. Again, bonuses on top of what has already been put out there. And then $250 for Melty Blood Persona. And then there are special prizes for Dengeki Idol and for BBCSE, which we just wrapped up.
Yep, we just wrapped up over here. Idol Showdown is just getting started on the other side.
Right.
It's like the fact that we can even have a BBCSE bracket happen, it can only happen
at an event like this. And it was so good. It was such a... Oh, my God. So, side note. So, Tabby and I are talking, and we're kind of, watching what's going on the sideline. I'm like, Tabby! Jonah just went on a timeout!
Yeah, and
my God!
I turn around and I see just the 0-second count on there. And this is Game 5 of Grand Finals.
Game 5.
Avoiding a reset.
And Jonah coming back from, the 2-0 from the beginning of Breaker Dave. Oh, my gosh. Look, this is... So if you've not experienced anything at Game Lab out here in Riverside, I encourage you to come out because this is such a cool space, and I'm going to indicate as if you were here with me. But it's this really great long warehouse, essentially. There are rhythm games, there are fighting games, there are dance games, there are all sorts of different games here. There's an amazing bar that is also here, and then we have half of this space for fighting games. And actually us right now are projected on this gigantic screen above the bar, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's been really great to just be able to constantly look over throughout the day and be like, hey, look, this is the game that's happening. This is what's going on the screen. Right now we have our players sitting down right now? I think they already got through their button check as well.
Yep, so we are currently working on getting our little area selected. So we do have Raiden versus Vivian. You can see that up there. And, God, I feel like we've seen this so many times before, but so we have Roa and Mario selected. Raiden, well, and a lot of the SoCal, well, actually just a lot of players in general have been experimenting with the Roa because he is such a strong character with such an incredible toolkit.
Yeah, he's someone if you're really just able to function with like type Lumina fundamentals for this game, he can really take you very, very far. And we already see early off with Raiden doing a great job of just getting the early set down right now, not allowing Vivian to get any of the initial Mario pressure going on.
No, the high-low is spectacular there, too. You've got really good mix going on. Going to set it up with the lightning, ended with an EX, and then you're going to get your hard knockdown after the launcher. You're into the corner, the re-jump, and then going for the low, and you had the Moondrive activation on top of it.
Yep, just trying to cash out as much damage as humanly possible right now.
Oh, yeah.
Should be able to need one more touch just after this. And I like that. Just back away, set up the lightning call. Don't want to do anything too crazy.
No.
But a simple strike throw to close out the first round.
Very fast. Vivian, cool, calm, collected. And they always are. Bringing their keyboard and their desk every single time.
They even got a cup holder with it.
Oh, I know. The cup holder is freaking killing me. Oh, my God. So now we actually did see some Mario pressure. Raiden tried to slide out of there, but it didn't end up working out. And now you see with the nuns, the sword nun coming. Okay, I was like, I know Mario just called a nun. It was hard to see, and that's the thing that Mario has as an advantage. Is sometimes it's hard to see the nuns when they're called off screen like that. But now it's Raiden's turn. Yeah,
Raiden was able to find an opportunity to get away from the nuns, even calling out EX nun right there and shielding it, but not getting a huge follow-up afterwards. Moondrive, keep yourself safe. And a great BC afterwards. Going to be able to get some big damage and another nice mix-up out of the corner if they can finish it.
Yeah, okay. I love all of the shield because Vivian teched in the air, was able to reset the pressure. We had the slide under from Raiden afterwards, after all those held shields, because he shielded the nun and shielded Mario, which was crucial because the nun was there for the mix. Thrown into the corner, Moondrive is now activated. The lightning is blocked. High-low, what an anticipation on Vivian's part.
Yeah, just really good. You've seen that sort of same mix going again and again and just realizing, oh, hey, it's not actually going to work. I can just press out of it the 5A, re-steal my turn, try to get that health back up. Nun coming through, just forcing Raiden to block.
Yep, and then you had to punch Nun with the knockdown, shielding the chakrams as they came through. And oh my God, you full screen KO. That was high risk, really high reward.
It was one of those, they saw the chakra come out and be like, okay, if I can react to it right away, I can just pop maximum spider and be able to punish them fully for it. And it ended up working out.
And they did.
Yeah.
And it was an excellent choice. The hesitation in the beginning here is very interesting. I like that because they know each other so well.
Yeah. This is you're playing at the core of the onion. There are too many layers deep right now.
Dag. Was that Shrek? I love it.
Well, it's not Ogre just yet. So right now, continuing to find these routes, trying to extend that combo as long as possible just to burn more of that Moondrive out while you can.
Okay, yeah, shield for shield. The air movement from both of them is really spectacular right now. What a call from Vivian. Probably going to end up 3.5K. Could have gotten a little bit more, but Roa was able to jump out of the combo. Using that Moondrive and the activation for the Moon skills. Going to spend a bar here, get the knockdown side switch. No, same side.
Yeah. Already ready to predict it, so just able to reset back out. Ready to know, hey, that nun's coming from downtown. I got to stay a little bit closer. Keep it going right.
Slide again. God, that EX. I've been hit by that so many times, and I'm still mad at it.
And I like this already, just being very passive. Like, hey, I have a huge life lead. There's only 26 seconds left on the clock. If you try to do anything, I'm just going to punish you like that, right? Now sit in match point.
Raiden is so calm and collected. Yeah, I love the pre-round movement and the passiveness from Raiden. And then because Vivian was the one who was moving, Raiden could push a button first.
And this is showing you like the layers that even like Raiden is at right now. Finding those brief opportunities, like, oh, I got to charge right here. I got to gain a little bit of free meter while I can. To now find opportunities where that EX lightning call right there is a lot safer. Hits him with a double overhead.
That was so smart. I love that from Raiden. Big combo here. Hard knockdown was the setup afterwards. He was going for the low. Backdash was not caught by Raiden afterwards, but golly day, does that seed do a lot of work.
Yeah. You saw the shield come out because you've been seeing Vivian go for a lot of bash.
Blood heat.
This is very scary, right? Yeah, as Raiden, you have to be worried about all that health gain that's coming back, and then being able to just go with the EX Nun call once again. Keep your turn going. Moonskill DP, though, gonna connect, and we'll be able to get a full follow-up.
That's incredible. The awareness from Raiden. I mean, it's always been one of his advantages, but here he was trying to get like a little TK going on with that move. Now they're just jumping. And yeah, Raiden is just like, you have to come to me and I'm going to jail you.
Yeah.
That was really great. GG's. Vivian is not gone down into the loser's side of things, but Raiden with a clean 2-0. And so coming back to what I was saying about Raiden, like his fundamentals, no matter what he's playing, has always been one of his strong suits. And his willingness to commit to a button in the air or incoming. And some of it is predictive, some of it's anticipatory. But if he lands it, he will commit.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, is the willingness to commit off those stray hits, which is, I think, it's a core part of just like fighting game fundamentals, but type Lumina especially. It is so important. And being able, during those times, knowing exactly your resources, your opponent's resources, how to be managing all of that on the screen. And that is why I think the shift to Roa has been so effective for them.
Right. I completely agree with that. I mean, Red Arc did have a lot of great tools, especially the air control with your rings, your air and ground control, and then you being able to confirm off of some of Red Arc's command grabs and things like that has always been, something that Raiden was able to capitalize on and showcase a lot of what that character could do. But there was a limitation.
Yes.
And Roa just doesn't seem to have those same training wheels.
Yeah, it doesn't hold it back. As well as, like, Red Arc is, I think, is also a very, almost a meta call, so to speak, right? If you're expecting, like, a certain swath of characters that you can actually afford to play a little bit slower, be able to force them out, you can have those opportunities. But Roa, it allows you to play that game, but then also allows you to play that hyper, like, aggro, that higher tempo sort of matchup. So it just gives you more flexibility in how you're actually wanting to like pilot your game plan, and in a general open field, especially in an event like this, it's kind of a safer pick to go for something like that.
Agreed, and it's not to say that other high caliber players haven't chosen Roa.
No.
I'm thinking about it now. Like Akimi has a pocket Roa. Kiri, not a pocket. Like that's a secondary character for Kiri. Of course, Scrot has
a pocket roster.
A pocket. That's true. Got to catch them all. My gosh. But it's just not unheard of. It's not unseen. And so, but the thing is that character just flourishes in a lot of different kinds of players' hands, and I think it just showcases that character is well-rounded.
Yes. Not only does it flourish in different players' hands, or like in other players' hands, in different players' hands, and the different styles that they're playing. Like you saw with Raiden. Raiden was very conservative. Just go, okay, hit. Sort of like playing it like a Red Arc. Just hit. Projectile Oki. I'm going to stop you. Mix. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. You'll then see someone like Scrot who plays them so aggressive. They're just basically playing them like a rushdown character. And it really allows, like, I think the well-roundedness and then the general system of the game allow the versatility in player style. And that's when you see potentially with other Roas down the line.
It'll be so interesting, too, to see as this game continues to develop with meta and things like that. I mean, it's something, of course, that we talk about pretty frequently when we're talking about Type Lumina, is that we've not had a significant... Well, we've had no character update since December of 2022. That was when Dantes and Ushiwakamaru came out. It was December 15th. I remember. It was great. What a day. And we've had some smaller patches here and there, but nothing that's been meta-defining or meta-shaking.
Yeah, not a significant change. It's really like actively shaking up how the game is played and how, not even just like character balance, no systems updates, because we've seen some system updates happen and some larger updates in the past, but this is very much a finite version of the game that does exist.
But, hey, we're into it. So this is Roger with W and Chester coming in, so we do have a Kouma and Mash Kyrie light.
Yeah, this is... Kouma being someone that you've seen around, but Mash is a character that doesn't actively get played at a lot of the higher levels in the sort of the ends of the tournament. So those of you might not be super familiar with her, she has a lot, like, may seem weak, but she's still strong enough to make it on the winner side of a top 8 as stacked of a bracket like this.
Yeah, well, and some of it I think too is character unfamiliarity. Now, if you've been playing Uni, you might be like, hey, this looks like Tsurugi. I mean, they do both carry shields and they do have similar movesets, but unlike Tsurugi, she does not have the same... She does have armor properties, but not at the same caliber.
Here we go, just shield punishing out the BDP attempt right there. I found the rebeat pressure string, but got a hit confirm and couldn't capitalize on it. Oh, big punish.
That is the thing about MASH is that her buttons are high commit with high recovery for some things, and you could see right there, we went for the DP, didn't work out. Chester was able to capitalize and take her out of the round. And now you're seeing that extreme Roa pressure, Kouma pressure. And of course, we know, Scott bringing Kouma to light, winning a lot of tournaments with him, and was able to showcase how much damage this character can put out. And other players, have been doing fantastically with him as well, and we're seeing it here with Chester.
Yep. And that's a very, very important thing. Is, a lot of these characters can do a very consistent amount of damage between them, but Roa, and having to work a little bit harder to get in for that reward can get so much more. Like you're already seeing right here, just spending meter for that 4.4, spend some more for almost 4.8K right there.
Well, and the thing with, okay, this is like a general fighting game thing, but the least number of times you can hit your opponent, you're going to win.
Yep.
If you can get between 3.5 and 4.5K in this game, even with the recovery on Vital Source that you're able to get when you activate Heat, you're still probably going to win before your opponent because you're putting out mad damage.
Yeah. And that's also something that MASH can bring to the table, right? But she has to work a little bit harder to find those hits. Meanwhile, Kouma is just getting it off of these stray hits just like that, but not able to find the pickup off the moon skill kicks.
No, unfortunate. Oh, we had the C activated, but Roger came in and hit him right out of it. So that's pretty huge. Pressure again, C armor activated. Oh my gosh, all the charging. So you now have almost full moon. No, you're going to get full. Why? Just throwing the shield out. That was interesting, but you let Chester get all of that moon drive. Either that's confidence or silliness. And you know what? I'm kind of fine with both.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those like, hey, if I approach, I'm risking something.
Moon drive activated from Chester.
Yeah, stay safe.
Oh, that's a big hit. Moondrive is going to end pretty quickly because it wasn't full. Moondrive, if it's not at full, lasts for 10 seconds, but at full moon, it's for 33, so significant advantage there.
And I really like that use of safe heat right there to be able to keep the pressure going at the end of the combo and just increasing your plus frames again and again and again and again. Finding another way to win that round. Chester looking very, very strong right now in this match.
Incredibly strong. And as a reminder, as we mostly have with Melty Blood, everything's going to be a 2 out of 3 except for winners, losers, grands.
Yep.
So these are going to go fast.
But Roger with the W's strike throw pressure has been so strong. I haven't seen Chester be able to tech a single throw that's come out so far.
No, I haven't seen it either. And there's another one. Just you willed it into existence, Tabby.
Sometimes you can't escape. Oh, big hit right there.
I wish that Chester could have capitalized more. Getting in some sneaky charges so that the moon drive is always available if he wants it. And again, right there, he did want it. And had he not had that little charge, wouldn't have gotten it. Shaking head right now, not what they wanted out of that. Because now the moon drive was over and you've got nothing. So you have to get a charge in just like that.
But with how patient that Roger has been so far in this entire game, you're finding these opportunities to charge that you normally wouldn't versus a lot of characters. So you can really make that work. A good use of the moon skill and then finding a full follow-up over on a match right now. Up down.
Yep, shield comes out there. Oh, blocks the overhead. Really good blocking out of Chester. And then the shield counter coming out of Roger with the W. This could be really big. They're going to build up that forward bars of Magic Circuit. Spends one there. Going to have 3 available. If they want to end it with an arc drive, it could work out really well for them. And they're going to scaling. Yeah, all right, there we go. Phew! Sometimes scaling is a terrifying thing depending what button you started with.
Yeah, especially with a character that has higher health, like Kouma, where just sometimes you're like, oh, I look at the bar, and I'm like, oh, that'll work, but then it doesn't.
And then it doesn't. No, Kouma does have the highest health in the game.
Right. Oh, great use of the delay overhead right there after the immediate JC air attempt. Give them more chance. Doesn't want to toss it back, just wants the 50-50. Good heat out, though.
Yeah, brave, though. You're doing it right there. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that was going to happen, but it could have been risky.
You also hadn't seen Chester going for these anti-heat setups, right? You never having to actually worry about this. Oh, they're not going for it. I'm just going to go for it and try and get an advantage. But Chester not letting that get to them so far. EX kick, stay plus, good grab.
Ooh. Going for a little bit of a mix there was Chester, but didn't get anything out of it. Roger just pressuring, even though they're not getting any hits. Oh my gosh, the challenge, though, afterwards. So great from Chester. Going to be able to take this pretty quickly, yeah. The combo was clean. Excellently done. Chester now one away from moving on into the winners finals.
Yeah, playing at that like perfect spacing, even in situations where they're minus in the pressure. But Roger continuing again and again. Nice air grab right there after
Oh,
the
do it nice.
Do it again.
Make it nice.
Air tech out of it, so had a chance to be able to press as they were falling down. Be able to keep it going, trying to find a big opening.
Yeah, was trying to go for that air overhead, but just ends up slamming the shield, being able to get that pressure back. Tech out of the combo was Chester. I'm curious what they're going to do here. Can they find something? Went straight through, but the shield was already active, and so with the B counter, Roger is going to bring this to a 1-1. Final game, final round.
Yeah, this is, in the beginning it's like, oh wow, Chester's been very, very dominant right now. Anything, it looks like it's going to be in their favor, but Roger making this huge comeback so far. Can't escape the grabs.
Yeah, and the fatal counters for Chester have been really crucial because they're getting just that little bit more damage. And then the BC for BC going to able to cross up, but unfortunately Roger has put themselves in the corner due to that interaction. Yep. And Chester is sitting with tons of meter, gets that EX armor activation, blocked, shielded, and then looks like for the launcher afterwards, the Moondrive activation is going to stop the pressure once again from Roger. And then a grab. Look, you can see Kouma going for the grab.
Yeah, win for C grab. I was already hitting him with the normal throw out of it. Had to pop a heat as well. 2-2-C, gonna connect, give them the super armor. Come up close, but a good heat. Just get him off. Be like, no, I'm good. Let me get my health back.
Get that microcharge once again. Last arc misses, and this is a big punish from Chester. Oh, that was a huge whiff from Roger. The combo drop, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, it's safety as well. 2-2-C moon skill into the last arc.
Yeah, arc drive finished. That is going to do it. That really was one on a drop.
Yep, that was one because the one drop, and more importantly, Chester recognizing it quickly and capitalizing it immediately. Didn't even hesitate to just go, oh, you dropped it? Okay, punish.
And that's the thing that you have to do with, really with any game, but in Melty, in Uni, in games that are really fast-paced, like an anime fighter, if you get that and you find that opportunity and you don't capitalize, you probably lost.
Yeah, especially in a game like Melty, where everybody's so agile. It's like, oh, hey, you drop it, you got a little knockdown. Okay, tech out, air dash away. Now we're back up here. We're playing the air gate, the air footsies. You're not getting to me.
No.
And now we've reset. But if we saw that it was just one hit into kill. That's all you need. Guarantee that you take those whenever you can.
Yeah, and you do, and you have to, especially in a game that has been, like we were just saying right before this, established and on a very similar patch for so long, because if you are not progressing your own character and your own game plan, when things have been static for such a long period of time, then you're falling behind.
Yep, absolutely. And falling behind in a game like this can feel so much worse than in some other games.
Yeah, the pacing has a lot to do with it, the speed, the things like that. And yes, in any game, you're going to have that sort of feeling of falling behind, but there is something that's a little bit jarring when the game itself is so fast-paced.
Yes.
Come back to it, it really does feel like almost a slap in the face when you haven't been playing for a long time, and then the learning curve is a bit more exponential than smooth.
Yeah, you can say that again for sure, but...
Who we have sitting there?
I think we are getting our next set of players sitting down right now. Looks like it should be...
It's Gozen and Patdabaker.
Yep.
We're getting that set up. I'm very excited. These are two that I am not as familiar with.
Yeah, same. So it'll be a surprise for all of us.
Yeah, well, I'll get to experience this together. This is the loser side of the bracket. This is all top 8, so we will be streaming, I believe, every single top 8 match, which is exciting.
Yes, yeah. We originally, I think it looked like just like a top 6 scheduled, but with how things worked out, we get the full top 8 experience.
Yay, the top 8 experience.
More Melty Blood type Lumina for your eyes.
Yes, which is always exciting because I love type Lumina. I mean, to be fair, I just love fighting games. But when I get to talk about the board, it's even better. I hope you can hear all of the wonderful sounds of the arcade around us. We're not close to the air hockey tables, but there was some serious air hockey going on last night, and pucks were legitimately leaving the building because it's kind of close to the doors, and there's just pew!
The thing I'm worried about is those Guitar Hero arcade cap setups right there. If the copyrighted music comes over.
Oh, no.
I think we're far enough away that it shouldn't be an issue. Are we making custom colors?
I think they are.
Oh.
They are.
Okay, well, it's an ARC player.
It is an ARC player, so we'll have regular ARC on stream. They're getting their custom colors ready. You got to do it.
At least if you're, this is the thing, if you're going to make your custom color, get it memorized or get a sheet out. Because they're like looking like, okay, I got to find the right one.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I do like that it is an option, though, to have the custom colors and things like that. I've seen some great custom colors.
And our other player is an Aoko player, because they're also making a custom color right here.
Oh, it looks so pretty. Oh, yay, we're watching. Huzzah, look at that. Oh, look at the pretty hair. I didn't realize so many of these parts were customizable. That's so crazy. I just use color 20 for everybody.
I'm a like color 3 or color 4 picker in most games. Just something quick, easy, but it's different enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely do 20 for everybody in type Lumina. I do color 19 in uni for Kuon. That's my color. Did you know that Tsurugi has a color named Microwave Oven?
Yep.
That makes me so happy.
It's really, really good. He's got a lot of really good color names. There's a color thing that's called Electric Mustard.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So Patdabaker and Gozen getting in, setting their buttons. Characters to be expected. Arc and Aoko.
Yep.
Aoko, we saw a really big rise in popularity after, really it was after EVO Japan in 2023. There was a little bit before that, but there were a lot of Aokos that were in that bracket, and people were like, maybe I should try. I mean, and when I say rise in the North American scene in particular, there were several very good Aokos already in EU and clearly in the Asia region. But Arc, one that you don't see as frequently. She's like sprinkles. She's just kind of around everywhere.
Yeah, but I feel like every tournament has one.
Just one.
Every tournament has one, and they are terrifying to deal with whenever they come on screen.
I agree. I very much agree.
I do think with Aoko is very much a like sort of a late game character, right? It really waited till like, okay, we are in a version of the game that isn't getting changes. Now we can really delve into what are all the nasty setups we can do. How can we actually find these opportunities to fully open up our opponents besides these not gimmicks, but lesser mix-ups, so to speak. In ways like I know I was seeing some Aoko setups where they're now doing like a deep orb off screen, but like a pixel of it hits now, and so you still have to know like, oh, that's there, and that's going to blow me up.
And the thing with Aoko, if you are unfamiliar with the characters, a lot of her orbs operate on something called negative edge, which is that they explode on button release, not button press, in case you're unfamiliar with that terminology. Now you're not. You're going to learn today. And so there's a lot of pianoing that you have to do as an Aoko player to keep control of the match. And I think it speaks highly to the execution of a good Aoko player when you see stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Gozen's going to be able to fully get it, or if Patdabaker going to be able to keep the aggression up. But you already see in the pre-run movement, just staying very calm, just trying to dash block their way in, not want to deal with these orbs, not want to deal with these shoots coming out.
Yeah, Aoko has a lot of things to keep Arc out of there, because Arc doesn't have a ton of long-range options. Mostly mid-range, does need to be up close. And you can see the hesitation in Patdabaker, trying to shield whatever they can, but maintain space and distance. They're really trying, but Gozen's like, you have to come to me. There's a bit of a start. Moondrive activated, really, I think, out of fear.
Yeah, and
we're swanging.
Like another big thing you're seeing is that Gozen is just sitting right on top of that orb. Because a lot of times you see like, oh, they're just zoning me from full screen. It's time to shield and then teleport in. But the orb protects you from the B teleport follow-ups right there.
Exactly.
So be very, very careful. But I think the biggest thing that you're going to see in this is Gozen going to be able to stay active enough while on that defense right here? Because you saw as soon as they're going in, Patdabaker is finding these bigger hits right now and already taking a life total advantage after burning 60 seconds on the clock.
Okay, it looked like Gozen was going for a grab there and was punished by Patdabaker.
Yeah. Expecting the throw when the strike is coming, as what Arc wants to do. Sits with the 50-50, but
oh, that is so unfortunate. The heat was shielded. Gozen does get out of there, sets up the orb again, and that time the BC counter does get punished afterwards, but wasn't afraid of the orb that time.
No, I think with the EX orb on top of it, knowing that I think you escape out of it, oh, that's a huge hit. They're actually going to be able to find the damage to be able to take it out.
1 time up. Oh my god, it's so close.
It has to go to Gozen, right?
Yeah.
Woo!
That was so close.
It was by like 30 health max.
Maybe. Oh my god, that was close. I felt like I was 98 years old sitting next to the screen being like, who's got all of the pixels?
Right, double negative edge orb set right on top, so knowing it's like, hey, Pat, you have to stay all the way over here, and blocks the after the late release attempt right there, trying to find something. DP whiff, but no punish.
I really like that Pat is trying to be better about getting in and being more aggressive about jumping over the orbs. I think it's essential to Arc's game plan to get in there, but Gozen, really great air dashing back and forth, trying to force Pat to go for something, maybe a DP, something errant like that. And the same opening combo that we saw from last time went really well in the beginning, but then Gozen was able to just really wiggle their way back in there.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to see like what Gozen can do. Oh, the no follow-up was crazy.
It really was. Wow, foot lasers come out, opening Patdabaker right up. There's 3 bars of Magic Circuit on the side of Gozen. Now just one chose to spend. Yeah, that was so good. You're trapped between a rock and a hard place with that. What do? You stand up, you get thrown. It was a good decision from Gozen.
And I do like that from Gozen as well, opting to actually just take the corner with the throw. You'll see a lot of Aokos try to get blood heat right there. Okay, yeah, just a punish. But the corner throw being like, you'll see a lot of people try to go for the orb pop and get the full combo, but just take the corner where you can because it will lead you into situations like this.
Ooh, good tech situation. We have Moondrive from Moondrive activated.
And this is so hard. You are looking at 10 seconds left on there, trying to get the extra damage off those negative orbs on the quick run-up throw. Gozen taking game number 1.
I do like, again, that we saw more aggression, and well, it wasn't aggression, it was assertiveness, and just better decision-making out of Pat in the beginning of that second round in particular, because he was so terrified that first round. There was just static energy. There wasn't anything happening.
And they saw it's like, oh, like theoretically that strategy works, just delaying it out and then trying to take that hit and letting it like roll through.
Right.
But Gozen has shown again and again, it's like, hey, I'm willing to turn on the aggression when I need to just to make sure I can guarantee these rounds go into my favor.
But now, as I had said, I love seeing the assertiveness. We're back to the passiveness once again. Lots of shielding. But Gozen is winning these smaller encounters just because they are getting hits and they are able to get hits in. I don't want to say like Pat's not getting hits in, but the character's physically incapable of hitting from that range.
Yeah, but that's huge, being able to actually space them out where you can keep them away from the orb so you can have an attempt to go in. And now you're going to see those negative orbs probably go away with the falling JB confirm right there.
They are projectiles, so if Aoko gets hit, they disappear.
Yep.
All right, so the same side. Very nicely done there.
Yeah,
does get this opening here. EX afterwards, launcher, hard knockdown, setup, double overhead, but then DP right out of it, kicked into space, and the side switch afterwards too on this combo. This is a huge setup opportunity for Gozen.
They need to make something big happen with this and try to get that life total even, and that's going to do it. Moondrive can't save you there. Life total should be going in Gozen's favor, and now just setting up the orbs, trying to pressure as gapless as possible. Last little bit.
Oh, wait. 0. I think it's Pat. It's Pat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a second timeout.
Well, Pat is willing to accept those timeouts knowing that it's like, hey, I can try to clutch it out at the very end. And that time it worked, the first time it didn't, but I think you're going to see Gozen try to be a little bit more aggressive with their options because they don't want to lead to that situation. They want to be able to like, hey.
Look at this, speaking of aggression, good lord. I mean, Pat hasn't gotten to play the video game that they paid for.
And I mean, that's sort of the thing with Aoko is like you get to play the sort of like safer, like rangy defense, but you also get to play these hyper aggressive games, but you can't afford to do things like that where you get blown up after the shield follow-up attempt right there. Nice 2A press.
That was, decisions, man. My goodness. Okay, the full lasers come out. Okay, I was like, are we submitting to Say Jam?
Don't need to today. Oh, you still could, because it was pretty close.
That was pretty close.
Yeah. I had asked myself, doth it slay? Oh, great check right there with a negative edge. Orb release.
This is big. Gozen, I think Gozen realized if they go in and stop doing those big full screen negative edge orb setups, they're going to win.
Yep.
Because Pat is afraid, and you can see that in the gameplay.
And it's one of the things, like, you were able to set the fear from the round start and still win those games. So now you're going to take that fear, turn it into your own game plan. Not enough just yet.
That, okay, you guys, could you see him stand up in the middle of it? He was leaving.
Yeah, he's got a bus to catch. You know, trying to make sure he gets home on time. Oh my goodness.
Gozen, though, does move on. Pat relegated to the spectators bracket, which honestly, in this place, not a horrific place to be because there's lots of games to play.
Not bad. You know, they might be entering. They've still got a couple more games happening later in the evening. Might want to, got to get those warm-ups in there.
Exactly. But good stuff from them. Great to see that they were out here making it this top 8 because it wasn't an easy bracket to make top 8 in. No. There are murderers all over the place in every single game that we've had here.
Yeah, so like even if you look at the 9th place like portions of this roster, there are people that's like, oh, you didn't make it? Oh, you didn't make it? You died that? Oh, you guys had to play each other. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, well, it'd be like that. And then, yes, Shatani sitting down now. So this is our last match of top 8 full.
Yep.
So this is going to be Shatani versus Luusei. We've seen this many a time. Shatani on Vlov has been doing well with that character for a significant portion of time. Gosh.
Basically since the beginning.
Yeah. They've played like one other character a couple of times.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It was against Jing. It was Shatani and Jing for that one of the top 8 slots. Because I remember this because I was watching my friend play Marvel, and they were in their Marvel pool, but I was like, I can't stop watching. And it was such a good game, and Shatani was so close. But it's Jing, former EVO champion. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Like, but that just shows you the level of this bracket where someone who's going head-to-head with Jing is sitting in the loser side.
Is sitting in the loser side. Okay, this is a button check.
Yep.
Clearly. Sometimes we do like to make sure, though.
Yeah, it's always good. I always recommend people do the button check if you can, right? Like, not even just, make sure your button's right, but just make sure the setup, how it feels, because you might not know if you have to do a little micro delay or something.
Exactly. So going to get back into it now. And at the bottom of the screen here, you can see the scrolling Kaitan Books and PlusFramesGG. This is, thank you again to Kaitan Books for sponsoring and providing such generous bonuses to our prize pool. Every game does have a Matcherino as well. I'm guessing there's probably a chat code for the Matcherino, but if not, you can find all of the information for that on the on the Twitter that is there, and
it's also on the Start GG page.
It is.
Which you can view by exclamation mark bracket in the chat, and I think it's exclamation mark Matcherino.
Nice.
The codes.
Great. I love that. But now we are going to get into it proper, and an immediate double down stomp from Shatani.
Yeah, and this is like another classic Melty Blood match. I feel like everyone's seen these two characters play against each other on this stage in particular for quite a while. Here we go. So you're going to see a lot of what Luusei's trying to do, just play very slow until they get the opportunities where they're in, try to use the rebeat pressure to open up Shatani's defense.
Throw.
But it's not going to happen just yet. And there we go.
Oh, yeah. So committed to the low shield, hit with the overhead. Going to get a big opener here. Of course, we're going to be watching to see when Luusei gets that 3 counts of Magic Circuit so that they're able to activate their Eyes of Death Perception.
Yep. Get the install, giving access to all sorts of new moves, but here we are set up with the Flame Wave, and then just charge, build that Moondrive gauge back up where you can. Great 5-8. I'm loving the delays that Shatani is bringing to the table right now.
I agree.
Like, they're really just trying to catch Luusei, like, in situations like that where they're trying to play a little bit less safe and open them up.
Yeah, big Som, and then you're going to get this it's a very standard combo, but it does a lot of damage. The launcher into the hard knockdown afterwards, the re-jump, and I love it with the falling JC, but it wasn't charged JC, so it came out really fast. Yep. The challenge again. Ooh, dude, I don't care how many times I see it. Vlov 5A is so stumpy, and I feel like you're trying to check for your life, but it's also higher amount of frames than most 5As in the game, so it can get you in trouble.
Yeah, it's always something you have to be worried about, and, and especially with a character like Tona, who's going to be in that spacing already. It's very, very scary to worry about. Here we go. The last arc drive has been, procced, but Shatani doesn't care. 2A press out of the pressure right there from Luusei.
He said, "I got swords. I've had 10 wives. I've been alive for a long time, and I'm a vampire. Come at me, bro."
Moonskill teleport. Not making anything happen just yet.
I like the mix of air and ground pressure that Shatani is doing. Oh, the B counter didn't really get anything after that for Luusei. We got a slide activation, though. And then once again, Shatani just pressuring and finally catches Luusei. You can't block forever, not against a Vlov.
No, and especially like, you know, a Vlov like Shatani. Like, you know, we keep saying not ready. They went for a charge there to try to steal some moon gauge, but.
And Luusei's not going to get a ton off of this because they are blocking a lot, so they're not going to get all of the vital source back that they can. The heat is now gone. Shield, though not challenged, come out in the air, going into the corner. Moondrive activation, but not blocking the throw from Luusei.
Yeah, was already ready, like pressing that throw, but Shatani not able to fully pressure out of it. Good rebeats right there to get a re-challenge with the 2C. Should be able to kill off this with that 2 bits of bar still left.
Yeah, because you went for the projectile and then went for that quarterback. That was perfect. That is using every ounce of your meter and your resources just to the nth degree to get exactly what you need.
Yep, and that's what you need to be able to try to trek through this portion of the bracket. So Shatani now up 1 game. Luusei trying to make some, you know, they've been putting up a good fight. Like these lariats that have been coming through have been so on point. Like every single time they do it, it's exactly hitting where they needed to. But Shatani's been very good with these heats, with these like 2-way presses outside of the pressure, not allowing it to happen.
I like that they're using so many of the blowback edge moves because it applies a tempo change and pressure. We did get a fatal counter in the air, though. This is a big starter for Shatani. Going to spend 1 bar and then charge. That's a big Vlov thing, is, you know, you spend your bar, you've established your spacing and your pressure because you are the zoning character, and then you charge so that you make sure that you always have that moon drive, because moon skills are essential to his game plan.
Yep, and then as well as for a character like Tona, who's going to be trying to do some shenanigans, like having access to that moon drive when you need it is going to be so important. These been so on point.
They're
Shatani
incredible.
hitting exactly when they need to.
Yep, getting this again. And then the exact same way that he won the last one. Not quite, though. And the scaling 4.5K, just throw him, drink the blood, throw him again. That was so crazy.
Yeah, that was like super good pressure from Shatani. Just recognizing, like, hey, they're probably going to be willing to take the throw here, right?
Did he just run up throw?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it.
It's something that you're not expecting from the Vlov player, right? You're expecting these like delay strikes, you're expecting these stagger pressures. And so when you're willing to just take the throw, it can be super beneficial. Good.
That interaction was so smart. So just really quickly, Shatani went ahead and uses heat. And then Luusei was out of it, so Shatani, being afraid of what was incoming, went ahead and activated the moon drive. And then in response, Luusei activated the moon drive, so it was greatly done.
Good blocks on these overhead pressures coming through. Stomp the yard.
The single stomps, though, meaning that Luusei is maintaining the distance that Shatani wants.
If Luusei can make something happen out of it, gonna have to hold another quick little mix-up right here. Just
blood heat's out. Blood heat. Oh boy. Yeah, don't hit a button. Okay, we got one little stabby stab. Then that is such a great way to run out the rest of the timer on that. You had the moon drive activation, and then you had the throw afterwards. High-low coming out, and then finally caught. Luusei was not blocking appropriately in that situation. The backdash, though, not caught, nor is it punished. And then I love using that charge JC.
Now we are free space, hey, like using double stomp, knowing, hey, you're too close. The throw whiff because you're still 2+ right there. Luusei almost had a chance to make something come back.
Jay. This is really tense. The low coming out there. Oh, shield and held shield, and then no follow-up afterwards. That's how we get a launching follow-up from Luusei after the shield.
I think you're going to need to, no. I want to go for, oh yeah.
Oh my gracious golly. So there was a heat activation from Luusei. Shatani was outside of it, saw that they had 3 bars, and just arc drive for the win. Shatani moving on into our top 6.
Yeah, I think Luusei was looking for like trying to find a way to turn that into a safe heat route just so they could freeze that timer, just so they could try to eat that win right at the very end. But like you said, what just happened? They couldn't get it, so like, oh, I'll just heat right here. I was spaced slightly too far out, and then the immediate reaction punish.
It's what you have to do.
Yep.
Incredible stuff, though. So that means that we have Raiden, Vivian, Roger, Chester, Gozen, and Shatani in our top 6.
Okay, all right.
So if you want to follow along, you can do !bracket into the chat when everything is available on StartGG, where you can find that information. The exact same information that we're looking at, you can look at too.
Yep, or you can, handily right above us, check the PlusFramesGG Twitter. It's going to have all this same information available to you as well. and a lot more fun information about the other portions of the tournament and other events that happen here in Riverside, California.
Yeah, this is, man, this is such a cool place.
Every year I'm so excited to come back because it's just such a great event.
Yeah, and thank you to Plus Frames and all of the people that support for bringing both of us here, because we love being here and getting to be with these players, which is so fantastic, and then just in the space and in Riverside, which is a really gorgeous area. If you've never been, there's a lot of history, and it's very rich history, and there's a lot of diversity, and there's a lot of things to do, and great restaurants. Twice now since I've been here, gone to the farmer's market, which was really fun to do in the morning. Just there's so much to do here, and it's so worth it.
It's so worth it. There's definitely a lot. Like I like. And especially for some of these, like, more medium-sized titles, this has really been a hub for them. Like, this has been the spot for Melty Blood for a lot of places. This was the spot for Persona. For a lot of West Coast Persona, this is where people are showing up for it.
Right.
So if you're a fan of those, like, medium-sized anime games, you got to show up here. You got to show, put your money where your mouth is. Say, hey, I want to play this game. Come through and support the events that are putting on that show for you.
I mean, it's... You should. It's just really great. It's really great. And then, of course, we're here at Game Lab, which has an attached place called Food Lab, which I am a big fan of Food Lab. I really wanted to go to the hot chicken place, but the hot chicken place had too long of a line today, and I was sad. But now I've eaten at the ramen / bento place, the falafel place, and then there was a smash burger place that I had, and then there was the matcha tea place.
Yeah, you told me that. I will probably have that tomorrow because I'm leaving a little later in the day.
Oh my goodness, just such a fun way to experience different kinds of foods and cultures, and then come over here and play lots of video games.
Yep.
So much fun. So Shatani is sitting down now. So who are we waiting for in the bracket? That means we will be looking at
Vivian, right?
Vivian. Yes, Vivian and Shatani. Waiting for Viv wherever they have gone.
Need to take a little bit of a break. Sometimes those games can be a little like, a lot happens, right? And a lot's going on. You need to take that mental break, that breather, step outside, enjoy the nice, warm, fresh air.
So warm. It was 75 when I walked over here earlier.
Oh
my God, it was so beautiful.
Coming from people who've been like, it's like 30 and 40 degrees where we're at. It's been, been loving it.
No, it was 36. When I got on my plane yesterday, it was 36 degrees. And so coming here, I'm like, it's glorious. It's been a nice change of pace for sure.
Oh, absolutely. It's been wonderful. It's been a way to be. Of course it's wonderful.
Yeah, can't escape it.
Yeah.
And speaking of can't escape, later on tonight we're going to have Uni 2 and BB Tag, which is going to be so much fun. There's a lot of other games. There's 3 streams going on right now. So you have this one here, PlusFramesGG 2, and then Kraken Atkins stream as well.
Because your event can't be complete without a Kraken Atkins.
Exactly. Does your event have an Atkins?
This one does.
Exactly. If you don't know, that's his tagline, and it's really fun. And Tabby and I both separately addressed Atkins like this when we got here.
So I address him like all the time. Like first time I see him in any event, it's like, does this event have an Atkins?
Does it? Yes, as a matter of fact, it does, because he's one of the TOs.
Yes.
And founders of PlusFramesGG.
PlusFrames guys doing a lot of work.
Yes.
Always being good to everybody. They've even come up over to Pacific Northwest for some of our events and stuff. They've been traveling around. They to Slashback last year as well.
Yes.
They're putting in the work. They're trying to not just be here and focus on their stuff, but focus on everybody and growing up the West Coast.
And I think that's really great. Being able to support each other, and that's something that the fighting game community is about, because it is a community, and it is something that as you feed into the economy of the fighting game community, it gives back to you. So the energy that you put out into this is the energy you get back tenfold.
Exactly. It looks like we got Vivian
Viv's,
sitting down there.
Viv's coming. I did have the lovely RSN scream trying to find the players. RSN doing a phenomenal job, also a member of PlusFramesGG, who's been running all of the brackets.
Yeah, they've been running the brackets. They've been acting as stream manager, making sure the players are sitting down on the right sides.
Right.
Making sure that they're on time for their games, making sure that they're getting the photos and paid out at the end of the day.
Yes.
Our players are here, and it looks...
We are getting into it pretty shortly. Yep, they're talking to each other, confirming. and we've got the fist bump, which I think means we're not going to be doing a button check and getting into it. So Mario versus Vlov. An interesting...
Yeah.
It's an interesting match just because Vlov has so many tools to get rid of the nuns, which is a huge part of Vivian's pressure.
Yeah, it's going to be really up to Vivian. You know, there's always the argument of who's the beatdown. It's going to be up to Vivian to be very aggressive. And you can already see that in the pre-round movement where Shatani is just like, I'm going to run away. I don't want to deal with this.
Oh, my gosh. And the capitalization on that one little air hit, getting so much damage off of this. Mario doesn't have a ton of health. Not the lowest health in the game, but is certainly meltable.
Yep. And the fire's going to do a lot of work on this great 2C once again from Shatani. And just going to be taking this first round with full advantage. Should be cashing in a little bit extra meter here to add up the damage. And you can hold them down. And they're even just going for the strike throw.
That was... Oh, they got a trophy for it.
Always good to up the gamer score when you can.
Exactly. I mean, that's just flexing.
Yep.
Vivian looks lost, to be honest.
This is something that I've definitely seen people talk about being a bit of a more difficult matchup for the Mario players, right?
Yes.
Because you see it's like, oh, once you get in, like, it's not like Vlov doesn't have the good tools to be able to prevent that from happening, or to prevent, like, a lot of these mixes from happening. They are a little slower character, but they can still make some of these big situations work in their favor. Like, oh, nun's coming out, let me just block. And then get out of this the mixes right here, but I won't get out of the throw.
No, not at all. But the thing is that despite all of this, Shatani still has the life advantage. They might be losing it a little bit more here, but Vivian has got to put out some heavy-hitting combos to be able to even up the life lead appropriately. That is certainly going to help at the 3.8K. The chakram setup afterwards, whoa, really good blocking. There was a shimmy briefly from Shatani, but it didn't end up working. And the same thing that opened up the previous game, but because you're at the end, might as well just arc drive. Spend all of that meter, wraps it up. A very quick 2-0 in that first game.
Yeah, Shatani even taking the first game with a perfect. Like, we didn't even mention that. They didn't get touched once.
Yeah, that's where the achievement came from. They're like, you're the strongest or something like that. Woo, we are flying. And first little touch goes out to Shatani, and you always have to be so careful in the air because Vlov does have that unblockable setup, which can be very scary. The Sword Nun was down briefly. The Sword Nun will always remain on screen regardless. Yeah. But not having access to it is a little bit scary.
But you saw that Shatani was so confident and wanted to check Sword Nun that Vivian was able to
Oh my gosh, are you blocking?
Shields through it, but no punish.
No. But they chose to slide instead. But that was a lot of resource burn from Shatani. This is Vivian's opportunity. Vivian cannot give this up.
Yeah, but we can't call a comeback just yet, as we've seen Shatani get through some of these crazy situations, but you can't block them all. Vivian should be able to quickly close this out right here to take the round, but no, doesn't finish it. I'm so sorry.
No. That's okay. Wow, the chakra just clocked Vlov at the back of the head, just boing. But I mean, really, Shatani dropped that, and it could have been the comeback. I'm sorry, Vivian dropped that, and Shatani could have been able to come back, and that's terrifying. But now we're in ice. We have not seen Shatani in ice. If you've ever seen Shatani in ice, run, because this child is scary.
Yeah, it's definitely like, Vlov is already very scary enough, but just having a much scarier kit on top of what this character can do is always going to be terrifying. You can see this combo just going as long as possible. Once again, burning that moon drive, gauge down as much as they can.
Yeah, that was so nice. But all of the strike throw, and the throw is the thing that wins. Vivian committing to a little bit of webs throwing there, but not getting anything out of it. Ooh, that falling bee did catch from Shatani, but now Vivian in control. Clocked again by the Chakram Nun.
Yeah, Shatani's been just getting opened up by these Chakram Nuns, and then Vivian's trying to take full potential onto them. EX Nun come out. Here, fatal
once again. These fatal counters have been coming out clutch for Shatani. Yeah. Being able to challenge Vivian in the air, and the thing is, once again, just like we were talking about with Raiden, the fact that they're able to complete a full combo follow-up has been crucial.
Yep, and it's been consistent. It's always been the exact same route, always trying to make sure they get the exact same damage coming in as much as they can. Here we go, big
yeah,
JC.
That was such a big falling JC, and it wasn't even the blowback edge JC, which was unnecessary, honestly. We have 3 bars of Magic Circuit on the side of Shatani, working on Moondrive, but we have the Moondrive activation from Vivian instead, spending 1 bar of Magic Circuit to get that EX knocked out. These Chakram Nuns have got Shatani, ever since the beginning.
Yeah, they have their number. You saw them blocking in the beginning the first little bit, but then as it's been going further and further, it just hasn't been working as much.
little shaky, a little scary.
Yeah, spending all the Moondrive projectiles where they can. Wow, great blocks from Vivian.
Yeah, that was so good. But the heat is now punished. This is going to be huge for Shatani. Not going to be able to build up 3 bars, but does EX right there. Hard knockdown incoming. No, it's not. It was dropped, and then the shield with a fatal counter grab afterwards. Moondrive is activated. Finally not hit by the chakram. Then the heat comes out and is challenged from Vivian.
Yeah, and Vivian has to capitalize on this right now. Cannot let this drop at all, and will take the second round.
That was so close.
But you can see it in Shatani. Like, they're like hey, I can't believe I dropped that. They had the throw, and it just missed the input right at the very end, and Vivian was able to capitalize on it. But like we were saying just before, in our previous games, that's what you need. You can't let these scrambles get out of your control.
No, Shatani breathing, regrouping, getting back into it, back in fire. In case you've never seen Vlov before, if he is 1 round away from losing, he will switch modes from fire to ice. So if it's 3 rounds, you do 2 in fire and 1 in ice. But since we are in 2-round setup right now, it will be basically once you've lost.
Vivian finding a big sword on hit from full screen and now able to fully push Shatani into the corner. All right, good blocks on the low set. Didn't want to go for any overheads, and a great 5A of RA.
That was risky, but it ended up working out, and now you're getting a really nice punish. There's the charge, so you at least have half. You can't activate Moondrive if you don't have at least half of your mood meter available for you. So it's necessary, especially again for players like Vlov, to be able to have that available. And you can see he used it all right there. There was a Moondrive activation and several moon skills coming out while that was active. But then Vivian able to grab Shatani right out of the air using the Sword Nun and the web setup. Chakram Nun did not come out and text the throw.
And you saw Shatani, even after that throw tech situation, found that same JA hit, but this time it wasn't a fatal counter. Vivian wasn't pressing afterwards, so wasn't able to steal that round back right at the very end, which has been so important for them in these games, but they will get hit.
They do get hit. There was so much good, swatting of flies, I would like to say, from Shatani with those nuns until it wasn't.
Yep.
It's just overwhelming at some point. And then a really delayed throw after the shield from Vivian to open up the second round of the third game.
Almost had them completely out of the stagger right there, but Vivian still finding all these new ways to open up. And that's the scary part. Like, you saw Shatani doing very well in the beginning with the game. As the game goes longer, Vivian finds new ways to open you up and find new ways to take control. JC hits, but no big confirm. Moon skills pop, or moon drives pop for both players.
Ooh, what a throw. Yeah, just the walk-up throw, and then the cross-up afterwards, but a fatal counter coming out from Vivian. Vivian with so much more confidence than they were in the very first game. The Sword Nun, the Punch Nun for the launcher afterwards, too. Set up the Chakram Nun, blocked that time. Heat does come out for Shatani.
Oh, this should close it. You have the bar. Yeah, and that's going to be Vivian almost taking it. No, wasn't able to close it up.
Not quite. Backdashes out of the Chakram Nun. A lot of risky air movement. Shatani looks like they're fishing for that air fatal counter. Text the throw. Oh, and then the clash afterwards. And Vivian is going to be the one who moves on. Shatani falling out in 5th place.
That was so good from Vivian. You've been seeing so many of these times from Shatani in this game and in the previous, so Vivian must have been watching, where they are just going for these 5B presses, trying to check their opponent in the mid-screen situations where where it's a little bit more even. Vivian was like, oh, I'm just going to set a nun so that even if we clash, I'm still going to be favored right there.
Right.
And it finally worked out right at the very end of the most important part of the match.
Man, I love me some Melty Blood type Lumina.
Yeah.
So now I'm wondering if... So I'm guessing we're going to stay on the loser's side, which means we're going to be getting Roger with the W and Gozen probably next, is what I would say. And then we'll be able to run our winners final. I mean, of course, a lot of these players are playing in other brackets right now, so we're running exactly what we can to keep all us running together and moving. Calling Blazblue currently.
And we got Uni hopping on right now, and Uni and Melty have always had a large amount of crossover between each other.
With them both being French bed games, of course, and gonna get a lot of that.
Yeah. So we will get our next game as soon as we can. In the meantime, while you're here, make sure to check out those Matcherinos. Check out the brackets as a whole. I don't know if we have a command for PSA Circuit, but make sure.
I'm not sure that we do,
I know that it's on their Twitter account, right?
Yes, I believe it is. And if you want to know what any of those socials are.
No way.
They're all not here. You can go follow them Instagram, Twitter. Also check out Game Lab while you're looking at stuff. Like, check out Game Lab. Game Lab is so cool.
If you are if you're near Riverside and you're not here, you're doing something wrong. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
It's so... Oh, yeah. So we are getting Roger with the W and Gozen. Just got that called. Excellent. I'm going to write that down. Roger and Gozen. So that is going to be an Aoko versus the MASH. If Roger decides to play the MASH. And I feel like if they do, you're going to run into similar trouble of Aoko versus Arc.
Yeah. But even, like, you actually have a little bit more potential there because you can, like, I don't know. Mash's buttons still are able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Reach. That's the word. They're able to reach further than what a lot of Arc's doing. So
that is true.
They're going to be able to space out in situations that you weren't able to see the Arc player really get the full connection on, which could be an advantage in that matchup of trying to actually capitalize on it. But that's if they decide to play that slow, patient start, which I think you're going to see that in the beginning if they do decide to stick with MASH.
I like that you're pointing that out because I do think you're right. The tempo and the pacing and how you establish that as a player is really crucial. And like really notably with Kiri and that Noelle, it was something that we talked a lot about during EVO 2022 because the way that Kiri plays that character is they're so slow tempo that people just don't know what to do.
Yep.
Until Kiri decides, oh, now I'm going to hit you, and now you're just dead. So it's interesting to think about how the pacing and the setup works with other players and with other characters, and MASH being one that is easy to manipulate the tempo to just sort of dismantle your opponent.
It's easy to dismantle your opponent, but your opponent also has to let themselves be dismantled, right? If you have someone who is just as, like, I don't want to say headstrong, but like someone who's very like, I'm not going to let you get this. I will find a way to like pierce through your defense.
Right.
Like that's going to make it harder for you as the player to play defensive, and that's sort of what you saw happen in the last game where Gozen had to switch. Okay, I've got to be aggressive now because you found your ways to get in.
Yep.
But I still I feel like in my soul, like if I'm Gozen, I'm sitting on the chair, I'm being aggressive right at the beginning, and then shifting to that defensive play. Once you see them, like have to be like, oh, you're going to be very aggressive. You got to like pull back and then reshift as the whole match changes. But you're going to see them start playing very defensive.
Mm-hmm. And interestingly, so Gozen, what we saw in that previous match is that they were setting up the negative edge orbs immediately. And Roger with the W said, no, I'm not going to let that happen. But Gozen, what a response to Roger's initial pressure.
Yeah, now they're going to be able to set it up here, get the mix going, but a good blocks from Roger. Going to go for a teleport and find the follow-up as well. And that's big. Like, being able to find those situations where you can get out of the block and punish them for it, it's going to be huge.
Yes, very, very big stuff coming out here now. Gozen put themselves in the corner, accidentally gets out with the BC after the shield. But, Roger was going for a big setup there, doesn't end up working out. Gozen is the one who's going to be able to get all of the damage afterwards. And then now you're getting the corner orb set up, and this is scary because you just have to guess right. And Roger did not. He guessed wrong. You're going to be able to finish it out with an EX. Yep, lasers. And then, just salt in the wound. The orb explodes too. Come on.
Well, you let go of the button, it's going to explode. Doesn't matter if they were dead or not.
You know what? You're right, though.
All right, but now you can see Roger being like, no, we're not letting that happen. We're just getting in there as quickly as possible. And that's been the big thing. This pre-round movement has been huge for Roger to be able to keep the tempo of the match going in their favor.
That's something that's very unique to Melty in that there's a couple other games that have pre-round movement, but Melty's pre-round movement is essential to the way that you set up your game. Oh, the shield was out, and they were blocking low, so that means that they got the fatal counter, going to be able to carry right back from whence you came. You pay rent in this corner. Oh, but a whiff throw for Roger.
Yeah. And that's going to be big from Gozen to be able to check that recognition. This throw whiff is not plus. And now you have 3 orbs set up, and you're going to get full comboed with it as well. Nope, just toss it down on the next one. Wants that
sandwich situation. Oh my God, where do you go? The navigation from Roger out of those orbs was clean.
That was like super, super smart.
Oh no! Yeah, you had the blood heat activated, but anticipated from Gozen. Gozen! Honestly, I really expected Roger with a W to take that. Just based on, they have so much tournament experience and things like that. The adjustment in this next round is what I'm curious about, but man, Gozen was absolutely crushing that.
Well, you can already see like an adjustment from Gozen coming out and recognize that if Roger wants to keep this up as a high tempo, like very aggressive match, I'm going to turn that on with Aoko. I don't want to go for these safer setups. I'm just going to go for these mix. And it's working out again and again where you're just having to take these 50-50s. And sometimes if you're more right, that's going to be beneficial for you. That negative absorb has been there for like 30 seconds.
It has. They're just holding that constantly. Are they going to explode it on the way down? No. Just keep using it as a threat. Throw the orbs, have the bigger orb, and then caught backdashing by the laser up. Perfect coming out for Gozen. That was a fast round, and it was a clean round.
And now shifting even to be like, hey, we're going fast, now we're going slow. Quickly trying to change up as much as possible.
What a laser after the B counter. That's so smart. Or BC, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Didn't want to, I was like, oh, I saw I got shield. I don't want to get punished. Just let me out. Escape. Good blocks on the overhead right there. Nice throw tech. Going to take your turn back. And now it's your turn to sit in the corner.
Yep. The low coming out from Gozen to, this is so fast. I mean, Roger with the W has every single meter available to them and can't use it. They cannot use it. They are jailed. And the throw afterwards right into the orbs. Daggone Gozen.
Yeah.
Clean.
Gozen also immediately after, as soon as it hits, they put out the fist bump first. They're like, GG.
That was GG's.
That
My
was
goodness.
GG's.
That's the kind of Aoko gameplay that I feel like got people to play the character.
Yes.
Because it's impressive, it's fast. You're seeing all the different variations of, your tempo, your orbs versus your lasers versus your regular strike throw pressure.
Yeah.
It's so...
And the fact that
she's got the package.
Yeah, she's got the package. You can layer all of that on DIY. Like in the moment, be like, okay, how do I want us to do this setup? Oh, I'm going to do this, this, then this. And your opponent has to know what you want to be doing, which is the crazy part.
And the other thing is, too, like you're saying, it's like... she's like the Build-A-Bear of characters in this game, but you also have to be so aware of what your options are.
Yes.
And you have to have all of that in your muscle memory to be able to execute properly and cleanly in this moment. Because, I mean, there's no shortage of people sitting here watching you, and, you're on the big screen. Like, I cannot understate how big this projector screen is. It is large.
It is like quite literally half the wall.
It's huge.
It's huge.
And all of that so well. You've got your spreadsheet of options, and you're like, okay, let's go to cell B14 and figure out what I'm doing right now. And they did that, and I thought it was spectacularly done.
Yeah, they played that. I mean, they were playing that almost perfectly. Like, there was never a time where I was watching them play where I was like, I don't think that was the right option. It always just ended up working out for them. And even in the times where they got hit, it was like, yeah, you did the right thing. Your opponent just had the read on you.
Yes, I think that was very well said.
Yes.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. So now we're going on to the upper half of the bracket where we have Chester versus Raiden in our winners final. So this is going to be 3 out of 5 as per tradition. I do also want to clear something up because you've been saying Raiden and I say Raiden.
Yeah.
So fun fact.
Yes.
I DM'd this kid.
Okay.
Right before the West Coast Melty qualifiers. And I said, how do you say your name? And they responded, however you want, it's half the fun. And I went, fine. So I have committed to Raiden.
All right.
So both are correct.
So it's Raiden.
I hate it and I love it. You're a genius. My goodness. But no, seriously. So if you hear Raiden or Raiden, both are fine. I've checked. It's now lore. Oh, I like it. So we did see Raiden the last time they were here on the Roa, but sees the Kouma and goes for the red arc in that traditional, wonderful goth black clothing. I mean, basically that's just Raiden in the game.
It's the Raiden color. Like, it's 1-to-1. But yeah, I do like the choice of the red arc right here. Like, we said that Roa is able to handle a lot of these situations, but versus a character like Kouma, keep away is so important versus them. So if you're able to play a character who can excel in that keep away like a red arc, then you are going to be able to maintain such an advantage. But the downside is that your defensive options can tend to not be as strong.
I hear somebody go, where's the punish in the audience? And I loved that because, I too was wondering. And now this is the pressure that you want to see. God, Moondrive from Moondrive, absolutely instantaneous. You're going to get the wheel coming out from the air, punish coming out, EX edge, launcher afterwards. This is so scary. Side switch now, jumping out of the range of Kouma, punishes the held shield because they were in recovery frames afterwards. What a way to pick up that combo in the air, too. Hard knockdown after the EX. We're going to have to spend one more combo here. What is it? We got the rings afterwards. High-low, going to go in for the grab. Nope, just creating pressure now. High-low again.
Yeah, Raiden is just trying to do anything they can to open him up, but Chester is willing to hold down back and willing to press where they can. Are they going to try to send this into a heat-safe ender? And that clock over there, yep, they will just heat-safe. Get that health back. Clock is frozen now, so they have the potential to make something happen.
No.
But Raiden said no.
The commitment to the bitment. I am so happy right now. Backdash clash in the air. Nothing else afterwards. A little bit of a button press from Chester, but just trying to challenge the space. What is happening? What are you planning on doing? You're going to charge? I'm going to charge. And then Raiden with those beautiful pickups. Combo complete. EX rings, hard knockdown, and then the microcharge. Backdash. Oh my gosh, they were able to shield in the air to get the EX armor, break it, and now send Chester into the corner. This is perfect for Raiden.
Yeah, we saw Chester doing that a lot in their previous match that they were playing, so I think Raiden was like watching them play and go, oh, that's what they're doing? Okay, I'm just going to like beat it in this when I'm trying to go for these cross-up setups. But this time, that corner carry not going to work out in their favor as Chester found their own way to get out. Raiden, though, very confident in their ability to just press out.
And the dash through, not prepared for that. The rings came out as well. Corner combo just walks away, throw, clean, done. Raiden taking the first out of the 3 games that they need to win to move on to grand finals.
Yeah, but we'll have to see if we can keep that tempo up because, like we saw, Chester was able to like quickly make that adaptation early into these games. So.
Okay, the low coming out from both players, but Chester's is the one that ends up hitting and opening it up. Raiden. Grab afterwards, we're going to get the EX armor activation, but broken by the heat activation from Raiden. That was really good in multi ways, and that just hits. That thing just hits you.
Yeah, you're full screen, and like if they're not, even if they like block it, you're just going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like, what a great challenge right there. I was going to talk about how much I like that heat, but I like that challenge even more on Chester's pressure, giving Raiden more chances to go for mix, blood.
Yeah, not happening. So we get the high-low and then the throw afterwards from Raiden. You're going to get the hard knockdown. Yep, charge once again. But wow, a slap from downtown from Chester is going to open this right back up. They do have 3 bars, but they're going to spend 1 for the EX Invincible Armor. Throw here, and that's going to do a ton of damage. And finally put a round on for Chester. Raiden looking a little bit iffier here, but really leveraging that pre-round movement, trying to create the visual confusion for Chester to not know where to block at the start of the round.
And I think it sort of circles back to what we were talking about the first time Chester was on screen. It's not this, well, this may seem like, oh, you know, it's going to be a harder match for Kouma, the keep away game is there. You just have to be right more than your opponent is. And the fact that Kouma is able to deal higher damage with...
Unfortunate.
You know, it can work out when you get those hits in, but right now, making it count where they can, get the charge, build up a little bit more.
Oh, I like that blowback edge. That was a really great way to, again, change up pacing and pressure. That works out brilliantly. And now, oh my gosh, there is so much meter on the side of Raiden. Only spending 1, now spending 3, wants to close it out cleanly. And, you know, regardless of the fact that they're going to come into this round with no magic circuit, they do have full moon, and it was worth it to secure that round.
Yeah, you never want to gamble with the Kouma at full resources with a pixel of health when they're about to like take the round. It's just something you don't want to do. So really, Raiden recognizing that and now
catching backdash after backdash with these rings, you have to be so careful. Shield afterwards. Oh, and the fatal counter because Raiden chose not to follow up after the shield. But I mean, it was a choice. It was a risk they were willing to take. The EX armor comes out. And now, just using the DP. I was holding my breath because I wasn't sure what option Raiden wanted to go for. That was a very risky movement option from Raiden, but they were able to recover. Chester, though, coming in, Moondrive is activated, and then just stopped blocking.
Yeah, I mean, like I think they were potentially expecting like an air throw to be coming out, so they were trying to like react tech to it or something, but not going to work out in their favor.
No, not going to. Ooh, they came in holding shield. That was a big gamble, and Chester is eating all of this damage because of a gamble that they took. The ring to try and make the pressure safe as well. Throw out more rings, throw out rings again. Dash and throw. Raiden 2 up now.
Yeah, fighting that quick dash grab right there was like so pivotal for Raiden. Because when they were playing on offense, they were starting to have a hard time opening Chester up. It was like, no, they're just blocking. They're being able to get through all this mix. Like if I do like stagger ring, I'm hitting them, but I'm hitting them for 1,200 damage. I can't. That's not going to win me the game when they're coming and hitting me.
No, it isn't going to win you the game, but it certainly will give a lot of paper cuts. It's going to work out. The low coming out after the shield and the cross up there. Launcher here. No, drops the combo, but that's okay because Raiden still has the positioning that they want. Their backdashes are very clean. That time was going in for an overhead, and Chester challenges it, but drops the combo. He's starting to look a little scrambly.
Yeah, and Raiden is, not wanting to allow that scrambles to like start turning into their favor, and it can be very, very scary once you get up close. Not having those really aggressive tools. 2-2C gonna work out. Now getting the side swap, and he has to be very, very scary.
Ooh, yeah, it looks like they were both going for those, like a 5A or something, but Chester was a little bit faster on the draw.
Yeah, good
Heat, yeah, gonna get a lot of Vital Source back here. Then grab an immediate follow-up. Because they had all that heat, the arc drive is gonna close it out. That was such a huge turnaround from Raiden, but excellent decision-making on the use of the decreasing heat meter.
Yep, just recognizing, oh, I got it? Okay, we can make this work, right?
Right.
And now we see trying to take that same momentum that they had at the end of that last round into this one, but the 2B from Chester going to be able to fully connect. And they have a lot of meter to cash out. They're looking at full resources. They're just going to go for C-Grab Ender.
Activate the armor? No. Looks like there was a little bit of indecision on the side of Chester. Now you're stuck fighting the rings again. And the options really from Raiden just goes for a low. Ends up opening up Chester.
Yeah, and Raiden going to cash out on EX whenever they get the chance right there. And that last little hit with the Moon Drive confirm should be enough to close it out.
Raiden clean 3-0.
Raw E-Dead.
Very clean. Yes, I love it. I love it so much. Did really well. Just maintain the pressure and the opposition at all times. And there was it just didn't even seem risky. There seemed like there was no risk, and it was all reward.
Yeah, and like Chester was playing it well, but it was like we were saying, it is like a harder matchup to pilot. You have to be able to get through all that, and I think we definitely saw towards the end a little bit the indecisiveness of like, do I want to just go for like the meaty mix? Do I want to go for 2-2C so I don't? If I get out, then I don't have to worry about the projectile zoning as much.
Yes.
And it just kind of like needed to fully commit.
Say that one more time. Gozen 2-0. Sorry, we are just confirming with our TOs that Gozen won over Roger 2-0. See, I don't know if you guys could see this. That's just bright. I write everything down because in the moment, sometimes I am incapable of retaining information. So I love to write it all down, and then you can always go back and reference it. Yeah. I have notebook on notebook on notebook of different events.
You've showed me all the different notebooks for events. And for some of these events, there's like essays written. It's great. It's fantastic.
I love it. It's really helpful. And if you are if you are thinking about getting into commentary, and if you are like, sometimes I have a hard time remembering things like that, never be afraid to just write stuff down. Yeah. You can have regular notebooks. I use notebooks in an app that I just keep it because I can carry it with me really easily. There's just so many different options when you're in commentary now. As you continue, a lot of times it can be retained and things like that, especially when you've got players like this that you've commentated time and time and time again, which is super helpful and is awesome because then you get like a really great player relationship and stuff like that. It's just fun.
Yeah. Grand old time. Especially with these two players.
These two players. So this is our losers semis. So we have Gozen and Vivian coming back up here. Vivian been it's been a big swing on both sides. So Vivian, in the first time we saw them, which was against Raiden 2-0'd.
Yep.
And it looked very unsure. It looked very shaky. You didn't really get to see Mario play at all. And then in Vivian versus Shatani, Vivian just had excellent setups. And really the Chakram Nun was the winner, I would say, of those exchanges. Because Shatani just wasn't blocking those incoming Chakrams. Yeah,
Shatani was always very wanting to challenge everything that Vivian was doing.
Right.
Always willing to just like we saw in the early game and a lot of success of it, the Rising JA to Fatal Counter. You saw a lot of good Abare. You saw these heat attempts. Just be like, I don't want to deal with you. Let me play my game. Let's not play your game.
Yes, exactly. And in this matchup, so Gozen, there we go. I was like, I'm expecting Aoko because Aoko. I'm curious how it's going to go because, and I think we should be watching first and foremost pre-round movement in round 1.
Yep.
Because that's going to establish the speed and the tempo at which we're going to operate. And then in the first 5 seconds, does Gozen decide to do the negative edge orb setup, or are they going to go in and aggress? That's, I think, the whole thing that we should look for.
I think that's the whole thing you're going to look for. Like, gun to my head, what I have to choose, they're going to be aggressive on this. I don't think they can afford to be defensive in this kind of matchup. Because if you are like, I'm just going to play the lame zoning game, the Mario players go, okay, nuns. Like, hold on, you can already see. They immediately decided we're not. Oh, no, they do. They are trying to look for these negative edge orbs, but Vivian is already committing, like, hey, I'm not going to let you do that. We're not playing that game. You're playing my game. So Gozen is now recognizing, okay, we got to switch up the tempo. We got to do what we got to do.
Oh, I cannot believe that worked out in Vivian's favor. They came out swinging, and I'm not disappointed. That time the chakram is coming out, and Gozen was blocking really well, but now is being opened up by Vivian. Vivian smells blood in the water and is the shark to be afraid of.
Found the overhead, but wasn't able to confirm it. I was just slightly.
I'm expecting a nun come in and then a throw. That's one Mario thing that's really great, is that you can hide the Mario movement behind the confusion of the nuns, and you did get the throw, did exactly that. Punch nun did not get the launcher, doesn't matter. Caught by the lasers, but the sword nun was already out.
Yeah, you can stop one nun, but you can't stop them all. And, like, this is just like a masterclass from Vivian, like knowing how to pilot this matchup versus this kind of player. And you're going to see that Gozen is like, okay, like I already know that I need to switch to the aggression. I need to change my mindset. And you're already seeing it here, already choosing to be a little bit more, throw heavy on here. Drive proc, but now Gozen going to be able to punish them for that crouch shield attempt.
Gosh, this is such a turn of events from the last round. And it's so commanding. All right, I like the way that the orbs were popped because of the way that the web sling goes from Mario. And now you're getting the side switch, and now you're getting the EX edge back into the corner. This is scary. Oh my gosh, the shield, though, that was really great gameplay awareness from Gozen and does close it out much more quickly.
Not only was it like great gameplay awareness there, but then immediately going like, oh, I see they're in the air. Okay, laser kick, hit him out, and then immediately went for the confirm over there. And now Vivian resetting it up into their favor, being like, okay, no, you gotta hold me. I think this is gonna be very back and forth. It's gonna be whoever lands that first hit is really gonna like almost steamroll.
I agree. Oh, did you see how Vivian just pushed Gozen into the corner?
Yep.
It wasn't even blocking, and then they shield for shield, and then because Gozen was the last one to let go, they were in recovery. This is so big for Vivian. 4 bars on the side of Gozen, though, and yeah, Blood Heat is activated, which is so scary because you never want to get last arced. Even though it wouldn't kill Vivian, it would do a significant amount of damage. But now those resources are gone.
And now you're seeing like some checks on the nuns where you can, but Sword Nun coming in through, going to be able to keep it going with the EX extension right there. Hit him with the Toadstool.
This is beautiful Mario gameplay. The side switch once again, hit by the chakrams, the winner of the last time that we saw this, and another EX extension that you so expertly pointed out earlier.
It wasn't even the chakrams. Like they were so worried about the chakrams that they were actually able to catch him with a 2-way starter on there. And that's huge, like being like, oh, you're worried about that overhead? Okay, I'm just going to start catching you low. Now it's going to open you up to throw, because you see they're so willing to take the throw as well. Or they're actively looking for it, just depending on what the exact situation is. So it opens up so many new opportunities. You can already see Gozen trying to be a little bit more aggressive with those challenges and those clashes turning into their favor.
So, you're totally right, and the call was exactly right. But I like to think the chakram nun was the winner just because of the mind games. The mind games that Vivian is able to create with this confusion. Look at that madness that is going on screen right now. But you're exactly right. It was the low that opened up, and that really did win.
But the chakram nun did allow the low and allowed that throw right there
to
work.
Exactly. The chakram nun is putting in work. Pay this girl overtime. I think it's alto. So they're named by voice parts: soprano, mezzo soprano, and alto. So I think that one is alto. Altos get paid more. Anyway. Yep, Moondrive activated there to challenge the incoming from Gozen. Set up here. So let's see, what does Chakram Nun do? Because you know Chakram Nun's coming out at some point. No Punch Nun for the launcher. Now are we going to get it?
No, you didn't have time to set it because they went for the air throw ender, so you're not going to be able to recover fully in time. So instead, you have to hold the classic Mario stagger pressure in all these safe reading situations. That was moon skill DP, but no punish on it.
Nope, not yet. There's the spear none.
Yeah.
Lowe's coming out, just challenging space from gozen. Mario using all those piano wires to get out. We did get some orbs. Ooh, what a backdash. Risky, but ended up working out. Hit by the lasers here. Orb behind, now gone, and then throw to the other side, but there's no orbs set up.
Yeah.
Throw again. I dare you to do it a third time. Nah, open up with a low. This is probably... No, not it quite yet.
Yeah, they were almost like... They kind of hesitated at the very end. They were like, do I spend the meter, do I not? To be able to
and then the moment was gone.
Yeah.
But you could definitely see them thinking about it.
Yeah, but... ended up working out for them. They were able to save that, money in the pocket for the next round and are able to use it in a situation like this, but the shield ends up going into Vivian's favor, so now they're regaining control of this mid-screen play.
There's a lot of shield going out here, and they've got to be careful because it's going to waste their moon meter. Shield once again, using that one to get closer, and I do respect that option quite a bit, but kicks the sword nun, so she's out of that for a hot second.
Not out for long enough.
Gozen's shielding is starting to worry me. Shields are coming out at really awkward times, and so I feel like a fatal counter is going to be brutal. And even right there, you're in recovery, so that's not even the fatal. That was just you were holding onto it too long. Chakram Nun does come out, allowing Mario to get this pressure. Comes out one more time. High-low, I'm expecting a grab real soon. No backdash instead. Air counter.
It wasn't a counter, it was just they were like in that recovery window and ended up going into Gozen's favor. But now Vivian immediately retakes that scramble. Chakra on one more time, trying to make something happen. Good throw tech out, but the moon skill gonna allow.
Yeah.
They say.
Moon drive to shield the incoming from Gozen, which was smart. Gets opened up just by a stray low. Combo into the corner. Orb is the setup now. Oh my gosh, I couldn't hardly see. The visual confusion from Vivian was crucial in that moment, and Vivian is going to move on to losers finals. Expertly played.
Yep. As this is, like we were just in the 3 out of 5. Something I always forget to mention. The losers finals resets back to that 2 out of 3 for those of you
correct
familiar. So yeah, that is Vivian gonna have to now
fight Kouma.
Yeah, fight, which they were on opposite sides of the bracket.
That is correct. So these two have not fought each other yet. So this is Chester, Vivian, losers finals. Vivian playing really hot right now. Chester, pretty devastating loss to Raiden 3-0 in the winners finals.
Yeah, but I don't think you can really, if you're Chester, you can't let that get to you. You just have to kind of go.
No.
Red arc matchup.
It'd be like that.
What do you do?
Die.
Yeah, I guess I'll die.
Yes, I'll die. So I'm curious in this one, in this particular matchup. Again, what is Vivian's game plan? I mean, yes, you try to keep away, but Mario doesn't have the same long-range options as the other characters that we've seen this Kouma go into.
Yep.
And wow, the pre-round movement, I push you, you push me, and this is not a button check. They are in it. And Chester with the immediate 3K opener.
See, I think the big things that you're going to be looking is you're not looking at keep away. You're looking at keeping pressure. You're going to constantly see these nuns coming around. You're going to see Chakra Num even be used in neutral situations potentially, just to keep the Kouma around and try to pilot him into the portion of the that you want him to be at, and then fully capitalize on it when you can. And just like that, in the Moon Drive, being able to proc the armor to get through this and taking another nice 3.5K. Almost 3.8.
Yeah, really great stuff here. Okay, the overhead coming out though. Wow, they were just jumping and re-jumping in the air. That was really scary.
Yeah, and finding the use for that dive kick to get through, and for the running command grab right at the very end.
Oh my goodness. Chester, jeez.
And that's the scary thing, is that Kouma is going to obliterate Mario's health bar whenever they get to touch them.
Woo! Sword Nun does come out and putting in some work on this opener for Vivian. Punch to maintain the combo.
Yeah, I like that. Good blocks on him, but super armor to stay safe. Also back in the corner, E3K.
I really like that decision making from Chester. It's so calm and collected. Ooh. Okay, so we had the B shield afterwards from Vivian. We did get a Moondrive activation, but it didn't matter. Chester was already mid-movement on that. We have the EX armor activation. Went for a little bit of a throw, but Vivian didn't take advantage of that at all. And I feel like, looking at Chester's face was kind of like, you let me get away with that?
Yeah, it was one of the, I don't know if Vivian was like even fully, I wasn't ready for that throw to come out.
I wasn't ready either.
Vivian was ready to, oh, that whiffed? Okay, I can punish it. Oh, 2-2-C getting the hit right at the very top, and now Vivian trying to stay safe, and this is very scary.
Yes,
right?
terrifying. Ooh! You have no chest cavity. Goodbye.
And because of moves like that, like Kouma, JB, and really JB and 2B are two buttons that are going to be very, very effective from the Kouma player to, like, stop a lot of the shenanigans that Vivian had been doing in these previous games. So they're going to need to find ways to just keep chakram sets going and find new mix opportunities, but you can't when you're getting deep constantly.
Yeah. Okay. Back the other side. Went for a hit there. Yeah, Kouma just ran and he said, skedaddle, I'm here. And now is putting in a huge amount of work onto Vivian. Throwing into the corner now. I like the movement too. The dashing is really nice. It's creating space where Chester really needs it. Moondrive was activated from Vivian. Not really getting a lot off of it though yet. Oh my gosh, that punish. There's like something in that whiff grab that I don't know that I'm getting yet.
Yeah, I'm not. I know that like in older versions, the Kouma can do some whiff grabs to keep themselves safe in situations, but that's not looking like it. I think that is maybe just not, like not ready for that full situation. And here we go. Big JC confirmed right here.
That was such a punish.
Yeah, it's gonna scale pretty heavily down the end, so not wanting to cash out on that meter while you can, but you will do it here while you can OTG. Take that round.
I'm loving seeing this gameplay from Chester. This is a lot of fun to get to watch. I like, too, just the little slaps in the air, challenge where you're falling, make you question how you're falling there. The grab coming out afterwards to end the combo. What a great IAD.
Yeah, just really getting into Vivian's head of being like, you know what I'm going to do? I don't even know what I'm going to do.
I'm crazy.
Yeah, oh, he catches him with another overhead. Vivian just really like committing to holding down back.
Charge there to extend the Moondrive. He just needs a hit. Chester needs a singular hit. Shielding, shielding, shielding. Waiting, what's going to happen? Oh, opened up briefly. Same side, no switches sides. Sandwiched by the Nun afterwards. But still, Chester just needs one hit. Vivian, though, going to regain a lot of life after this heat activation.
And gets to play keep away with it as well. But the 3C gonna connect, has a full grip of bar on deck, so they should be able to reset that life pretty quick. But
this is a command grab, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vivian was like, hands off the controller. Yeah, I know, I lost that.
I wasn't sure if it was going to tell him, to be honest. I look at that health, I look at that scaling, I'm like, there's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a chance, but...
All right, so Chester up 2-0. Vivian. I was going to say it had to be Vivian who went back to character select because Chester won.
Yeah, I always appreciate I go back to character select. Just
I do too.
Keep calm, take a breath. And it really just keeps you, keeps you centered. That's something that I think for a lot of players, especially a lot of the younger players.
Yes.
Just making sure that you can, like, keep your calm in your game. And right now, Chester is keeping very calm with all this pressure going into Vivian with these command grabs again and again and again.
I'm so impressed with Chester's gameplay. It's so clean. It's so decisive.
Yes.
Where Vivian was looking like the one who was in complete control in the set prior. Chester just put Vivian and was like, you're a basketball now, buddy, and this is my court. Get out.
They're trying to simulate some Hokuto no Ken and just constantly bouncing them from left to right. Moon drive activate. Pressure up. All right.
Oh, my goodness. This is so much pressure.
I'm trying to figure out, I think Vivian's been in a very comfortable situation where they're willing to spend the meter to prevent Chester from coming in.
Right.
But you're having to spend a whole bar every single time, and you're not gaining that back off these hits.
No, you're not.
So it's going to be really up to figure out these new ways where you're not having to constantly burn it out, unless you can find these safety enders. And now, play safe. Great tech from
That
Chester
was
came in.
so good. I do like there that Chester wasn't challenging for a fatal counter there and was letting Vivian establish the spacing so that Chester could see where they were. Caught by the Nun, and now Vivian able to get some damage out right as the Moon Drive is going to run out. They have 1 bar of EX. The Moon Drive afterwards, and you just go for the 5A opener. There are 3 bars on the sides of Chester. And then you get the EX activation, another heat. Vivian trying to extend life as much as physically possible. But there went for the air challenge, but Vivian was able to recover. EX comes out once again. Side switch with a grab! That was genius!
That was so smart from Chester right there. Just the recognizing of, like, you are expecting everything but this. Knowing that the exact call-out answer at the very end to go for the side swap grab.
That
I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
Brilliant!
And that's after our last game with Chester was them getting 3-0'd. And then they just 3-0'd to get back into that same spot, to get back into that grand finals.
To fight Raiden, who is already sitting down, plugging that controller. He said, "Fight me, bro." Oh my gosh. Can we just for a second, I need to break down that last moment because that was so smart. So you have on the side of the screen, you have your Mario and you have your Kouma. So they're over here. Mario committed. Big commitment.
Yep.
However, had Chester not gone to the other side, the spacing was so ideal for Vivian. The Nuns were out, everything was ready, and all he had to do was get into that pocket of space. And then because Mario was committed to the movement and stuck in the animation, the grab was right there, and that decision
is like that is such a micro decision that you have had to have played that scenario again and again and again to find that kind of solution.
That space was so small.
It was.
It was so small, and it was woven in there, and it was genius. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that because that was real good.
Just like we are going to be having to start watching the last little bit as our players decided they didn't want a button check. They want to get right into it. No button checks.
We only go. No stop, only go. But this is grand finals. Chester's in the loser's side, Raiden in winners. Of course, this is a double elimination bracket, which means that in order to reset the bracket, Chester will have to go send later into losers, which means we could have potential 6 games, but we don't know what that's going to be like because Raiden is already taking a lot of damage. Now back to you, Tabby.
That was a lot. Yeah, this is going to be, obviously we talked about this before, right? Like Raiden is very much like, hey, I'm just going to zone you out, and I'm going to just keep this pressure going again and again and again. I just have to get these same 3 games over again. It's up to you to figure out how to beat this solution. And Chester does have some ways to do it. Like you can see more aggressive use of spending into 2-2C just to, even a neutral 2-2C, just be like, hey, I got to get this armor in, and I got to find these opportunities. But with that, you lose out on damage, and potentially that means you need a whole extra hit or half hit. And that's always just a situation you don't want to be in.
No, that is exactly correct. It's so funny. We've been sitting at these health pools for a really long time. Of course, as soon as I say that, Raiden does get some damage in there. We have a backdash coming out of Chester, though.
And now just charging, trying to get their moon drive back up. But Raiden's okay with this. That's common with me. Like, yeah, you can have your drive. I don't care.
And the thing is, Chester got stuck in the recovery animation for that and got punished for it.
Oh, great use of the grab right there, being able to get that extra damage, but missed the extension follow-up on it. So now, just playing very cautious, but you can't be cautious around these grabs.
Oh my gosh, how does that work? What an interaction. That was really unexpected. And that is going to be the first game for Raiden.
Yeah, you can see Chester be like, gosh darn it, because I don't think they expected that.
I love a little,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why Chester went for that option because it is a command grab.
Yep.
However, there were just the interaction of the frames and the way that worked with the clashing.
Yeah,
Raiden was able to jump out of it.
The fact that Raiden was still considered airborne during that whole time was even though they look like it was very interesting, but it's not minutia. It's that stuff that Raiden is prepared for and been in these kinds of matchups before.
Shield, BC cross up afterwards, and then the high-low coming out of Raiden, able to open up Chester once again. Clean combo. The Red Arc is just, if they have meter, they're going to end with that EX hard knockdown. It's such a great way to get a little bit more damage and be able to set up your pressure afterwards so that you can maintain your turn.
Just recharging once again. Great backdash out of the ground pressure, knowing that Chester likes to go for that right here. Oh, and a nice use of the shield right there. Going to be able to actually get the punish, follow up on it, and retake the corner.
Yeah, oh my goodness, you were not blocking your toes, my friend. Raiden, every time I think, oh, Chester's got a little bit of a foothold in this, Raiden takes it away. And once again, right there, just walk up, grab. Raiden slowly dismantles your mentality.
Yeah. And they're fighting every option you want to do and giving you the exact counterplay at the exact right time, you know.
Raiden is a master at adjustments on the fly.
Yeah.
They're so practiced, and they're so willing to let you hang yourself. Even in that moment where they're staring at each other, I don't even think Raiden was down backing. They just looked and said, "What are you going to do, buddy? This is my game."
It's just being able to play very patient and be like, "Hey, I'm going to sit over here. I'm going to play very reactive." And then, because as soon as you see Chester like commit to an option, that's when Raiden is coming in. That's when they're trying to stop.
Woo! BCB counter though, and the immediate down back from Raiden though to get rid of this incoming pressure. We do have a throw afterwards. The EX activation on the shield. There was a brief shield in there from Raiden. Wow, the fadeaway ring. Moondrive out of there. God, Ark's air movement is so good.
Yeah.
Once again, not predicting where Raiden was going to be able to go. The heat is out for Raiden and then just walks up and starts this combo.
Yeah, you've been seeing like Raiden like be very, very efficient with all of his movement options. Because I mean, like Chester's almost been limiting their movement options. They don't want to expend too many of their tools in the trade, but they need to find something right now. You're in grand finals. You don't have these games.
That whiff, that was the end of the heat. That was the end of your meter. This is a big opportunity for Raiden to keep going. Moondrive went in for an air grab, and Raiden's air movement is supreme.
Yeah, just the immediate recognition of that, seeing that neutral jump in the Moondrive and going, oh, they're going to grab. And then just immediately having the counterplay, immediately being ready for it.
Jeez.
Raiden doing well, but Chester going back to character select. Still.
Colors. What are we gonna? Ooh.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
Yes. I like.
I'm always a fan of the Ronald McDonald one as well, the yellow and red suit.
You know what? Okay. I accept this. I accept this as part of my life now.
But instead, Chester getting the costume change power up. We're in the third arc of the anime. We can see if they can get it.
Oh my! These Moondrive counters are so huge. Speaking of counters, this is a big counter hit coming out from Raiden to open up the first round of this third game. Did tech in the air, but Raiden is so in control. Even there on the backdash was like, hit me, I freaking dare you. Now you're back in the corner. Now you're going to eat all of this damage. We do have 3 cuts of Magic Circuit, so of course we're going to end with the EX and the charge and the throw afterwards with the immediate follow-up. Are you going to get to play?
It doesn't look like it, at least for this round right now. Raiden has just been doing very good with just the basic strike throw, not even elevating into the high-low mix.
Okay, there we go.
Chester found an opening and is going to try to take advantage where they can.
Once again! Oh my gosh, Raiden's confirms!
It's like, Chester's like, they're very consistently trying to go for these like meaty grab setups, which I think versus a lot of people and a lot of characters is going to be very good. But Raiden is so willing to just use their options for movement.
Sorry, the shield was really scary. I apologize for squeaking. But my God in heaven, that was really crazy. And then we get the low and the cross up immediately afterwards. This is going to be a big bit of damage and the corner advantageous position for Raiden. He is 1 round away from 3-0ing Chester. Once again, does Chester get an opportunity or not?
All right, the next gap that comes up, you're going to see Chester heat. I can almost guarantee it. I can smell the blood in the water. Let's see if Raiden can try to figure it out as well.
I think everybody smells the blood in the water at this point. My God!
Chester now trying to bring that blood to be their opponents, but the Moondrive into the C grab.
Dunk. Oh my gosh, that Moondrive activation will allow them to shield, but then there was a drop afterwards.
So
shield?
Unfortunate right there.
Okay. Oh my gosh, the low.
Chester getting around on board, showing them that they're not down without a fight. They can still try to make this comeback, not get 3-0'd yet again. Let's see what Raiden can do. Set out the underring, set out the delays, trying to get Chester to, bait us. But you see Chester, it's kind of committing to what Raiden wants. It's just, hey, you want to wait to react to me? I'm going to wait to react to you.
Yeah. And after all of those waiting, was able to open up with, so they were able to open up with the overhead on an IAD, but Raiden did just the raw heat right there. It's not something that Raiden typically does, so I don't think it was expected. Yeah. Big punish on that whiff DP.
You see, Raiden doesn't even do a lot, they're only really cashing in the meter gain just to get the extra damage where they can. They're more than fine just looping these 2,800 damage combos again and again and again to just keep adding up into their favor. Right now, Kouma pressure, which is so scary to try to gap in between, but a great shield.
And the launcher with a tiny bit of delay afterwards. They're going to build up 1 bar of magic circuit right at the end of this. Oh my god, the Moondrive activation with the cross-up afterwards in the air. Raiden is your awaited fate, Melty Blood type Lumina champion.
Yeah, excellent work for Raiden. Just these games versus Chester were clinical. It was very much just, hey, do you want to learn how to play the matchup? Come watch this VOD. What you do, and if your opponent, can't play as well as this, you're probably going to be fine. Chester still put up a great fight. Like, there was never a time where I was like, oh, Chester's like, it's gone. It's not in Chester's favor.
Yeah.
But it was always Raiden was just one step ahead, just willing to play defensively, willing to just wait back and forth. Oh, you did something? Okay, grab. Okay, strike. Okay, fireball.
I've watched Raiden play in a lot of games, and in particular this one, for several years, and I just love watching them progress as a player and seeing how confident they've become. And I think it was really showcased there, the confidence, the cleanliness of their gameplay, and their ability to just close out when it was necessary.
Yep. The clutch factor was at the maximum. They were never at a spot where I always felt like, oh, they had it right, but it dropped in their favor, or this weird thing happened. It was always just like, they're doing a thing, it's working to the exact game plan that they want to be doing.
And I also want to say, too, though, that when something was dropped, because, I mean, there were things that didn't go in Raiden's favor, that it was still, okay, that was on me. I accept that. Now I have to find my recovery points and get back to where I was. And it never seemed like, oh, no, I dropped it. What do I do? It was always, oh, I dropped it. Okay, now what?
It was almost like that they had dropped it and they had practiced the drops. They were like, oh, I know that I dropped this and I know that these are my options out of this situation.
Exactly. And that's also another really great thing to practice as a fighting game player is so that when you're not in that offensive position, and you do see that at higher levels too, that when you're no longer on the offense, your defense is something that is not as well practiced, so it gets scrambly, it gets indecisive. You start trying to find your options and you don't know where they are or what they are. So for Raiden to just be so confident and clean with it, beautiful stuff.
A masterclass craft of Melty Blood type Lumina. Congratulations once again to Raiden for winning.
Indeed.
Here at Awaited Fate, Memento Mori, here in Riverside, California.
Exactly. And so that is going to do it for Melty Blood type Lumina here on this stream, but don't go anywhere because there are going to be more games. Actually, if you want, bring up all 3 streams. Bring up this one, bring up PlusFramesGG 2, and then go bring up Kraken Atkins stream because we have more fighting games in store for you here at Awaited Fate, Memento Mori in Riverside, California at Game Lab. I am Jadelyn.
I'm Tabby.
And we'll be back later. We'll catch you.